Today on the Topic Show, Vivek and the TikTok bill details being revealed. Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson is worried the First Amendment limits the government's ability to censor their citizens. Bud Light St. Patrick Day tweet is mostly a fail. Mercedes gets humanoid robots for assembly lines. Uber and Lyft to leave Minneapolis due to the minimum wage law. And Trader Joe's has yet another recall, this time due to a potential salmonella risk. All of that and much more on the Topping Show. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of the Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Gotta say he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, you see, that's a joke. If you're an IT leader or a business owner, you can reach the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Now going over to the business part of the podcast, you have Mercedes gets humanoid robots for their assembly line. Now this comes to us thanks to Rob Sachs over at LinkedIn, and they note specifically that Mercedes-Benz is, quote, turning to robots to handle, quote, repetitive and physically demanding tasks on the assembly line. The German automaker will test humanoid Apollo robots made by Texas-based Aptronic amid the shortage of, quote, reliable workers, unquote. The robots will help save manufacturers money, obviously. I did add that obviously part. Because investing in automation is less expensive than changing production lines or plant layouts. They also note that labor unions are against using humanoid robots, I wonder why, claiming that the move forward automation will eliminate jobs. AI-powered robotics could replace human workers such as masseuses per Semicor, but they will also create new jobs and prompt reimagining of the workplace. Well, yeah, it'll create new jobs that are in more high skill, less skill in terms of you're going to need a lot more software engineers, and depending on where the robots are actually manufactured, that'll be jobs in and of itself. Then you have replacement of components of the robots, as well as the maintenance and ongoing service of the robots. But robots also don't unionize and increase the cost of goods sold while decreasing the quality of the product. Ford. Count but notice. So yeah, Ford had mismatched headlights as well as seats the past couple months. And yet their labor is one of the most expensive labors on the market thanks to the United Auto Workers. And fascinatingly enough, a lot of that money goes to politics. Millions of dollars is donated by the United Auto Workers every election cycle. So it'll be interesting to see, again, one of the biggest issues, we saw this during the Big Three being General Motors, Ford, as well as Stellantis, which used to be Chrysler Dodge before they went bankrupt so bad, in part because of the unions back in 2009, that they were bought out by a European company. Well, one of the biggest things that led to some of their bankruptcies, GM and Chrysler Stellantis particularly, was the cost of the ongoing UAW labor, being the highest, most expensive labor rates in the market, yet having some of the worst performance. And they also have pensions, health. There's some of the highest benefits. It just realistically cannot compete anymore. So it'll be interesting. I know the UAW is really working hard. They're proposing to try to unionize Volkswagen and other automotive companies. And again, they always increase the cost of goods sold. A lot of that cost goes to politicians because the UAW makes donations overwhelmingly to Democrats. If you look at I think the highest ever went was 27% of their donations went to Republicans. That was actually during the 2020 or 2022 midterms. But besides that, it's like 99.99% one-sided political aisle. So it'll be interesting to see. Again, the United States, the cost is so expensive to manufacture here. I mean, not just because labor is one of the biggest, but you also have the EPA, you have regulation, you have the state taxes, you have federal taxes. It's astonishing anything can be made here anymore, to be frank, with so much regulation. It'll be interesting to see. I know Tesla, they have their humanoid robots. They're trying to move that forward. There will become a pivotal moment where these robots will be, I'm not sure what the upfront cost is, because again, like most technology, it's going to be very expensive when early adopters always pay a premium, but it'll be interesting to see how if we have another pivotal moment. We saw this in I believe it was kind of the early 60s and 70s, where they had an exponential increase in automotive robotics, where they had, it seems rudimentary now, but you have the little robotic arms where they do a lot of the welding. And at the time, we had very similar conversations. Why are they doing this? Even back then, one of the biggest reasons was cost. Because again, it's hard to pay someone $75 an hour to put a tire in a car and make a profit, as well as reinvest in the company, which is why some of them went bankrupt. So it will, again, let me know in the comments, do you think this will lead to Mercedes increasing their quality because you'll have a robot doing the job? Again, there might be software errors. It could be hacked. Again, the wise man once said, "There's no such thing as solutions, like trade-offs." And yet, this could be a pretty big solution for the company that's trying to remain competitive. When I was going to say Mercedes seems to go up in price all the time. But let me know in the comments. As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, we're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to let me know how I can make the show better and better, and also help with the magical YouTube algorithm. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.